So I've decided to play Dark Souls 2, a game I'm sure many of you are familiar with. For better or for worse. And now I have decided that I'm going to go back to the game to see if it's as bad as I remember from when I was a little kid. So, let's get into it. This one will start like any other one, running towards the Firekeeper so we can actually make our character. And when we get there, the Firekeepers will tell us a whole bunch of exposition about stuff happening in the world and our fate, blah blah blah, when all we're really there to do is just make a character. Once they're done with their nonsense, we can finally name our character, which I have trouble always making a character name, so I made it related to the build. And yes, I am going to drink this build, just like my first run, just to see if it was the same as I remember, which is probably not going to be. And since he is going to be a big strong boy, he's going to be a little bit bigger and heavier in order to lift those big heavy things. And he's also going to have a fabulous mustache, but no hair. Once we're done with that, we finally go outside to light our first bonfire. And then shortly after, we go through the tutorial area just to get to the cruise. Not too interested in anything else. So we kick down the ladder. And then we trade our starting gift, which was a petrified something. I am a gambling man after all. And man, was I lucky this time. Because I got the Channeler's Trident. I'm not going to be using it too much, I don't think, but at least I have it. After that, we start making our way towards Majula. We do drop off on this ledge to grab all the items that are along the side of the cliff. We won't really be using too much of them, besides maybe the morning star for a little bit, but they're nice to have at least. I then light the bonfire in Majula, and then I talk to the Emerald Herald to get my Estus flask. I then hit the funny rock by the well to get my first Estus shard, which will be our first flask upgrade. We then go stop by the merchant to go get, well, some new clothing that might aid us on our journey. Let's ignore how I acquired this gear. And if that wasn't bad enough, we're then gonna ransack his shop after he's dead. Once that's done, we head towards the Forest of Fallen Giants. My main objective is to get a key for the blacksmith so I can open up his shop and buy the mace. I didn't actually know about the mace until my friend Strutzy actually told me how good the mace was, especially for a strength build, so we're going to be using that for a while. This section in particular, for those who are not too familiar with Dark Souls 2, will probably show you how bad the enemy placement can be. I mean, I'm probably not playing at my best either, but there's lots of sections where there's a whole bunch of enemies and they're all just attacking you at once, and, well, that kind of contributes to most of my deaths, or anyone's deaths in this game. I don't usually have issues with bosses too much, but we'll see. Once we're done with that, we light the bonfire and talk to the merchant to get our key. We then immediately head to Majula, use the key on the door, and finally grab our weapon of mass destruction and a Titanite shard. I then quickly head over to Hyde's Tower of Flame to do a little bit of farming, because there's still one more item I want to get. Also, Strutzy told me about this one too. Dark Souls 2 has another riposte animation, one dealing more damage than the other. That was cool to find out. Once I had about 14,000 souls, I went back to this merchant to buy a fragrant branch of yore for 12,000 souls, and then when we talk to her again, she'll give us a silver serpent ring as a reward for spending that many souls with her. And now that I have the maximum souls that I can gain currently, I am now ready to fight bosses. First one being the Dragon Rider, of course. Unfortunately, I'm not good enough to actually make him fall, so I actually have to fight him. But with the mace, that's easy work. Again, that's not a hard boss. Usually you want to get the cheese, but I didn't get it this time. But anyways, continue on to the bonfire and head back to Majula to spend our souls. I was going to use my souls to make sure I could use the Channeler's Trident, but decided against it, opting for more damage, health, and endurance, because that's what I'm going to need more of. When I was on my way to go fight the Pursuer, I did actually die on the way over there, and it wasn't to an enemy, but the tried and true gravity. I mean, the arrow helped, but after getting my souls and clearing the area, I went to go talk to Kale the cartographer. He needed the house key, which would be helpful for me getting the Estus shard and the soul vessel. I decided to go to Hyde's Tower of Flame to go pick up some more loot. One of which is behind this dude who's about to get absolutely destroyed by the backstab, who so happens to be guarding a sublime bone dust, which is helpful for my flask. It makes it better, even though I'm using life gems. Continuing forward, I use a fragrant branch of yore on this dude, and then fight the mastodon that's guarding the Estus shard flask. And I gotta say, hitboxes are wonky in this game. After I kill it, I claim my prize. And once I'm done with that, I go to fight the pursuer. But first, fuck this guy. I hate him. He always annoys me in the fight. Now, we can fight the pursuer. Not really much to say about this boss, besides for those who are probably new have struggled with him. I know I did. But with the mace, I made quick work of him. And because nothing is sacred in this game, after you kill him, all the enemies that were just lying on the ground waiting for you to kill him now get up to finally finish you off. After dealing with the last one, finally, we then open up the shortcut to the bonfire. We then move forward to go deal with the ballista room. Unfortunately, this guy didn't die from the ballista shot, so I had to deal with everything. But then, after that, we claim our prize. The Chloranthe ring, and a Titanite slab. Pretty good loot. And after that, we finally make it to our first boss. And for anyone that knows the game, it's the last giant. It's not like it's too bad of a boss. I mean, I do get hit, but that's just because I'm an idiot. But, like everything else in this game, it will fall to my mace. And now I have the soldier's key, so now I can continue on through the rest of the place. I use the key on this door, so I can head towards the nest that'll take me to the last Bastille, only to be interrupted by this guy who I heard walking right behind me. Always fun. We head towards the nest, examine it, have the bird take us on our way, and then immediately drop us off, in the most painful way I can imagine. And now we're here at the Lost Bastille. And then immediately loot the chests, one having a human effigy, which helps, and the other one having a dull ember, which is actually really important for what I'm going to do later, which is going to be for infusions. Also, remember when I said we'd be fighting the pursuer a lot more? Well, this is the area where we fight him a lot more. He almost killed me right here too. But we killed him once, we shall kill him again. Really, it isn't too bad. I think a later area is probably worse though. I then talk to Lucatiel, so I can have her as a summon for a later boss fight if I want to. And then I pick up the antiquated key. I could use the key to skip the ruined sentinels, but I want to fight them because they used to cause me so much pain when I was little, and I want to get back at them. This guy annoys me the most, mainly because of that barrel. I need that barrel, and then he hits it. So now I have to go back, reset the area using a homeward bone, then come back being super careful to aggro him without him swinging his staff by using a throwing knife. Then I can go on normally to kill him. And then now, we need to hope that the barrel actually hits the wall and explodes to reveal the bonfire. But, with my luck, it doesn't happen. So after dealing with the dogs that are now right next to the barrel, being extra careful not to hit it, and now I just need to spend some time actually maneuvering the barrel into the right spot, which as you can see by the sped up timeline, it takes a little bit of time. Then we finally use a firebomb, destroy the wall, and then touch the bonfire. Then we light this so Macduff can move whenever I reset the area, and then we get to looting. There's a lot to loot. Then I talked to Macduff, who asked me very kindly to give him the Dull Ember so he can continue his work. And now I have access to infusions. We then use another fragrant branch of yore to get rid of this guy so I can open the door. I was then going to skip all the enemies in this area and just go to the Ruin Sentinels, but decided that I wanted to take them out so I can open up the door that's over there, just in case I need to. As another prime example of enemy placement in Dark Souls 2, because they just keep coming. All of them. And then that guy too. I do eventually defeat all of them. Then I finally open the door, which you can drop down to from a ledge up above, just in case you die. Then we finally head towards the Rune Sentinel fight. And I must say, the mace makes this boss so much easier. I mean, technically it's bosses, but I mean, look at that damage. it's insane that I used to have issues with this as a kid when I can just do this. And that's one down. Then we have the other one that follows up. Then he's gone. And then lastly, that one. And bam. That's the Rune Sentinel fight. We then light the bonfire that's up ahead. And then we go down here. Man, guess what? Pursuer. I think there's like one or two more in this area before we leave. And when I was about to kill him, he almost killed me. Luckily, that didn't happen. And through my greed, I was able to defeat him once again. And I think it gave me Twinkling Titanite. We then use the Pharaoh's Lockstone in order to open up Belfry Luna, which has the gargoyle fight, which I also dreaded doing when I was a kid. But we'll see how this one goes. But first, we'll go back to Heights Tower of Flame again, but this time to go fight a boss. Specifically the old Dragon Slayer. Also, this guy was messing me up. He might not even be that hard of an enemy to fight, but for some reason I just struggle against it. But anyways, after that, continue forward, and if you remember that clip that I used in the intro earlier, yeah, this is where it happened. You know, I thought I had enough time. I didn't have issues with this last time, but clearly, I'm not good at this. So we go back, grab my souls, not that it really mattered, and then we skillfully take out the dragon. See, it's not that hard. We then go up to the boss Foggate after dropping the drawbridge to fight the old Dragon Slayer. And again, anything that has armor or is weak to blunt against the mace just gets eviscerated by it. And the reason why I'm over here is because of that NPC that's over there. I can't talk to him just yet because I need a token of fidelity, which I can't get until a little bit later in Hutsman's Cops, something like that. But he has a bolt stone which I want to buy so I can infuse my weapon, which will either be the mace or, if I can find it, the greatsword, which will be the main weapon I'll use once I get it. But for now, we're just gonna peace out, spend our souls, and then continue on our way. So I did go back to Belfry Luna, and when I was there, I actually got invaded. Although it wasn't the actual player, it was actually still technically an invasion, and for some reason, this threw me off when I was fighting them, so kind of had to deal with it. But once I took out the invader, I then went over to go ring the bell, so I can go and fight the Belfries. And man, this one was kind of annoying to have to fight, just because there's so many of them, and since they kind of have the same attacks and attack at the same time, it was super annoying. I think at one point I had 3 of them on me. I mean, one was close to death, but I mean, that's still 3 that can hurt you all the same. Yeah, probably one of my least favorite fights in this game. But anyways, we still killed it all the same, though it was starting to look like it might take 2 tries because I was slowly running out of health. But we got it. And now I can grab the Bastille key, which will help for dealing with the Lost Sinner. And then at this point I decided, oh yeah, I can go to Nobleman's Wharf, so here we are. And I must say, these enemies in particular are the only ones that have the slightest chance of actually killing me. Because no matter how many times I fight one, there's always got to be 1 or 2 that put me near death. So that's the only thing that's really annoying about this area. I mean, these enemies up ahead too are kind of annoying, but not really. I mean, if you have a lit torch, they literally don't approach you, which is something I did know but didn't really care about doing. I mean, I could just kill them, so it's not too much of an issue. But hey, Lucatiel's here. She even takes off her mask, so that's cool. And I think we can summon her for another fight here. And No Man's Dwarf has the Greatsword, which I'm going to be using for the rest of the build. Once I get a Bolt Stone, it's going to be perfect. I do also have another death due to one of these guys. Like I said, they're the only enemy that could probably kill me in this area. And well, literally only took one to kill me. I don't like these guys at all. So after that, we summon Lucatiel so she can help us during the boss fight. Do I need it? No. Do I like the help? Yes. Anyways, we're gonna go and fight the boss, which is the Flexile Sentry. This boss isn't really too bad. I think the only thing that could throw you off is the water that's just slowly rising. But with Lucatiel to take some of the aggro off, yeah, just really easy. Thanks, Lucatiel. See you later. We will literally be seeing her in like the next 30 seconds when I get to the bottom of the elevator. And also now I'm gonna be using the Greatsword, and that's always fun. The Gut Sword. It's so funny. So fun to use. So now we go back down to summon Lucatiel again. And then we're gonna fight another Flexile Sentry. Why is it like this? Who thought this was a good idea? But anyways, with a little bit of cheese, we do kill a Flexile Sentry. And now we can go forward. Using the Bastille key, we can make the boss fight a little bit easier by letting our lock-on actually stay locked on. And after that, let's go fight the boss. And I must say, definitely not my cleanest start. And this is probably why I actually wound up dying. Not even having Lucatiel was actually able to fix any of my mistakes. It was just that bad. But hey, we're super close, so I know it's doable. Funny enough, on the second attempt, I don't know what happened to Lucatiel. I mean, she's there, as you can see, but I'm guessing she got stuck or something. So she actually didn't help me out the entirety of the fight, but it didn't really matter too much. I did wind up killing the Lost Sinner anyways. I just thought it was funny. And with this, we are now one step closer to beating Dark Souls 2. So now I'm going to light the Primal Bonfire, and then go and level up, and we'll probably call it there. So if you liked the video, leave a like, and if you want more, subscribe. And with that, I'll see you guys later.